Hey everyone, Joe Zealand here to talk a little more about Coldplay's The Hardest Part on acoustic guitar. So first of all, I decided to make a version that in terms of the acoustic guitar is based on the originally released song/single from X and Y, which I have here. The fourth and basically official final single, even though I do also have What If as a single, which wasn't really a single, there was no music video for it. This was officially the fourth and final single off of X and Y. And it does feature an acoustic guitar quite prominently, at least in the verses. You can hear it pretty clearly. And it very audibly is in standard tuning with a capo on 3. And I did also mention this when I covered all the Wembley acoustic performances, and I already talked a little bit about The Hardest Part, that it's pretty cool that both the acoustic rhythm guitar and the lead guitar have the exact same setup, so standard tuning with a capo on 3. However, for the Wembley acoustic show, Chris did use another tuning, arguably his most frequently used alternate tuning anyways, which is EADGBD, so standard except the high E string tuned down to a D. If you want to go into the details of it, you can check out the tiny tutorial that I've already done for The Hardest Part in my Wembley video. At the end of this video, I will briefly return to this as well and just show you a few things. But for now, keep in mind that I'm doing this tutorial for the original version, so standard tuning capo 3. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you is the strumming pattern. There are two ways you can approach this song rhythmically. First of all, I'll show you the strumming pattern / the rhythm that I've used for the acoustic guitar part. And it goes a little like this. We're just doing the verse now, okay? So E minor, C major, G major, and then this weird B minor looking chord. It's not really B minor. You have this open G here and also an open E string, so it kind of looks like a B minor 7-bar chord, but it's not a bar chord. But it is one of Chris's favorite chords. He uses variations of this quite a lot, especially with this 2/4 finger placement here. This is how I play the rhythm. This has a very, very prominent emphasis on the two. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The thing is though, if we look at this tiny, small picking section, which the acoustic guitar plays in the first verse, the rhythm implied by that pattern is a little different. Check this out. This pattern has an emphasis that is not on the two, but the two and that is whenever you play the high E string. So 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. And if we make a strumming pattern out of this, it would actually sound different from the strumming pattern that I've used, and it's this. So this has an emphasis on an upstroke that is placed on the two and. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. And the thing is, you can play it however you want. I do believe that this two and strumming pattern, so on this offbeat essentially, might be the one that we hear on the recording. I personally think, though, that the song does have, if we look at the rhythm, and obviously mostly that comes from the drums in this case, the song has this very, very, very straightforward 2/4 snare emphasis pattern, right? Like boom, chuck, boom, chuck. Boom, chuck, boom, chuck. That is the feel of the song. And if I want to emulate that feel or capture the essence of that feel, I would personally always do the cleaner strumming pattern. So with the focus on the clean two and not on the two and, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, let's now look at that picking pattern. And the cool thing about that is the one section where we can pretty clearly hear the acoustic guitar and hear that it's in standard tuning, and that Chris didn't use that EADGBD tuning way back when, 20 years ago when this was recorded. So yeah, we're in the verse again. I already showed you the chords: E minor, C major. You can also play it like this for this part. G major, and actually on the first round it's actually this chord, kind of a G6. So with the pinky finger not on the high E string, but rather on the B string here. And then this B minor, what looks like a B minor, but it really isn't. And let's just practice the pattern by playing our E minor and staying on the E minor. I'll play it slowly once. And the interesting thing about it is that we're starting the pattern with a downstroke. I don't do a full stroke of all the 6 strings, but rather just the top 4 strings maybe up to the G string. So that the actual picking part is G string, open G, then with your middle finger, open high E string, index finger on the B string, and then back to your thumb on the G string. And final note, once again back to the B string, played with your index finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now regular G major on the second round. Alright, as you know, we're in standard tuning, and so far we've used pretty much basic chords. Well, this B minor looking one is not super straightforward. We use chords like an E minor, C major over G, G major, even the G6, pretty much a standard chord. But since this is such a straightforward song with very standard scales, is a lot of potential for variations here. Let's check out the intro riff, which occurs again in the finale of the song. The song just ends in a fade out on this riff, a 3-chord riff. The first 2 chords, really not much we can do. It's C major, either the very, very classic and clean one, or the one with G on top. Especially when we have so many other instruments layered over this, you can't really hear the difference here. So E minor, and now I typically play A minor 7 here. If I had to guess, I would say that the recording probably just uses a clean A minor. You can also play an A7 sus4, which would correspond to the lead guitar riff, which plays C major triad, E minor triad, and then this. And this is our bass note, so if we make a chord out of this, well, it's this. It's an A7 sus4. So you can play like this. And if you want to, you can resolve it, since it's a suspended chord. Resolve it on the A minor, A minor 7. And now, D sus4 into D major. What I also like to do in that riff, this tiny little moment, I don't know how to call it, but check this out. Lift your index finger and then put it right back on. Now, let's move into the chorus. Very straightforward. For the first half, just 3 chords. C major, G major, D major, right? But I played it a little differently. I once again incorporated elements from other instruments here, and most importantly, from the lead vocal melody. Check this out. I'll play it slowly. So yeah, obviously we're moving along with the lead melody for the first part here. Just remember, this is completely optional, right? You can just play regular chords here, C major, G major, D major. But yeah. And I could feel it go down. And then again this. Oh, and here once again this D sus4 back into D major lick. I wonder what it's all about. How do we include the signature mini bass riff? Bass and piano, actually. And yeah, when we start the song, it's pretty straightforward, right? We can just play it, open A, 3rd fret on the low E string, back to open A, 2nd fret on the B string, and then, well, you would just, on acoustic guitar, you would just play C major there, right? But yeah, the riff keeps reoccurring in the song, right? And it's a little hard, actually, to just go straight from strumming to just doing this, right? And it also doesn't really work with the dynamics of the song. So I typically do like a mix of strumming and picking that riff. Check this out. Chords. You can do that. I'll play it slowly for you. Finally, I do want to show you the differences between the regular recorded version in standard tuning and playing the song with our alternate tuning with the E string, high E string, drop down to D. And once again, I've talked about this so many times before on this channel. Once your capo is on the 2nd fret or higher, and Chris uses that specific tuning with the E string tuned down to D, you can actually leave your guitar in standard tuning and use a capo trick. Well, I call it a capo trick, something that you would do with a partial capo, which I don't have. We don't need it. If you have slim capos like these, it's a regular capo for steel string guitars and electric guitars. You just want to put one capo on the 1st fret, full capo on all 6 strings, and take the 2nd capo, put it on the 3rd fret, but make sure that you don't touch the high E string with it. And that has the exact same effect as tuning the high E string down to D. That's the cool thing, our regular D major and the D sus4 still work with this trick. It wouldn't work like that if we had actually tuned the high E string down to D. So that's really cool about this trick. Give this a try. I do prefer, for the hardest part, I do prefer standard tuning. And if you do want that transition from sus4 to major, you can play like this. So there you go. That was the hardest part. Let me know in the comments if you have any more questions or thoughts about the song, thoughts about X and Y. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for your support, and goodbye, Joe Zealand, out.